Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Halloween is right around the corner, and on this week's episode, we're going to be doing things a little bit different. Today, I'm going to tell you how you can turn this ordinary dowel rod into this magic wand, which will for sure make you the star of any Halloween get-together. Because who wouldn't want to show up to a party or go trick-or-treating without a wand that actually floats? So why talk about magic wands on a science show? While magicians often use smoke and mirrors to pull off the illusion, the great ones actually use some key science concepts to help them pull the trick off. That whole walking through the Great Wall of China thing though, that's all smoke and mirrors. To make our magic wand actually float, we're going to let the center of gravity be our smoke and mirrors. This video will show you how easy it is. If you're running out of time for a Halloween costume prompt, this only takes about 30 minutes. Before we get started, we're going to need a few supplies, and for that, we need to make a trip to your local hardware store. For me, I have a Lowe's right up the road, and ever since I started doing this whole adulting thing, it has quickly become my favorite store in the world. But I do feel like there are a few man rules that have to be followed to maintain your man card while you're shopping at Lowe's. And we're going to talk about those right now. Number one, you always have to be wearing boots. Don't go rolling up in there in your flip-flops. This is a place of work. Rule number two is wear a hat. It doesn't have to be backwards, it just has to be dirty. You just want to look like you're coming from the construction site, like you forgot that one tool that's going to help you finish the job. And there's no good mornings or how about the weather. It's how we doing with that tired face, like you just want to finish the job, get home so you can watch the game. Basically, you just want to get in, get your tool, get out. How we doing? Now that we're on the inside, you're going to need a steel pen, and you can usually find those in the hard to find hardware section. Next, you need a wooden dowel rod. Any size will do as long as it's about 1/4 of an inch larger than your steel pen. So we have all our stuff from Lowe's, and I'm walking out to the shop to make our wand. One of these days I'm going to go into the shop and I'm going to make a video there, and it's going to look like a fully functioning shop. But we just moved here, and right now the shop, well, it looks more like a dumpster fire. So we're going to be doing a lot of this outside. And that's when things got way harder than they had to be. Pro tip, if you're going to work outside, make sure there's not a hurricane coming. So the weather wasn't going to cooperate, my black spray can broke, and a video that was supposed to only take about an hour to make ultimately took 3 days. That explains the variation in facial hair, out to the shop to make the different outfits, I'm going to go in, and the overall confusing editing. Okay, enough about that, back to the video. First, you just want to cut your dowel rod to however long you want your wand to be. I cut mine to about 28 inches. I recommend doing whatever you prefer. You just don't want to show up to the Halloween party with the smallest wand.
And I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Now with your wand cut to size, the next thing you want to do is to drill a hole into one end so that can support your steel bit. Make your shop teacher happy and always drill a pilot hole. Now find a drill bit the size of your steel rod, and you're going to come behind your pilot hole and drill a hole. The other thing I do is I usually drill a little bit longer than my steel rod so it's easier to conceal, and I'll put a piece of tape on the drill bit so I know how far to drill in. And once you have your hole drilled in it, take your tension pin and push it right on inside. The fit was a bit more snug than I anticipated, but that's okay. Now once you have your tension pin in there, you're going to want to find your center of gravity. And you can do that obviously just by balancing on your finger. So balancing on my knife blade, I feel like I've got center of gravity. And then you just want to make a mark 1 inch down below from your center of gravity. Now an important point here, for this to work, you're going to want that mark that you make to be on the side of the center of gravity that weighs less, or in this case, the longer side, since the steel pin is weighing down the other side. And then once you've done that, you're going to drill a tiny hole right where you made your mark. And this is why we drilled the hole a little bit deeper, so now you can take some wood filler and you can completely conceal the hole that you made before you paint it. And now it's time to paint. And this is where I had continued troubles because my paint can broke. I was going to paint the tips of my wand black, but since my paint can broke, I'm just going to splatter it. That's so frustrating. There are so many better ways to do this that don't involve your hands getting covered in paint, but you get the idea. Now we have our wand, and it's time to make it float. You can see that the red and black spots do a pretty good job of covering up our hole. Now we just take some string and put it through the hole. So you can see when you hold it from the string, it's going to want to tilt a little bit. Again, tie one end of the string around the hole you made in the wand and loop another end of the string around your finger and you're good to go. And there you have it, your own floating magic wand. The more you practice, the better it'll look. The hands are there just to sell the effect. You can have a longer string or shorter string. You can move your hole farther or closer to the center of gravity, basically so you can have it behave however you want to. Just be sure to wash your fingertips after you paint the wand, or people will be quite suspicious. That's it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great Halloween. I hope you subscribe to the channel. The only trick I have left is to disappear. And I'll see you next week. Hey everyone, today's video, I'm going to drop my thing.